Hello guys, my name is Armin. In today's episode learning SketchUp, we're going to take a look at soft and smooth edges. So this is a great tool that's going to give your geometry a better look and shape and basically make it look more professional when you create images through Enscape using your SketchUp model. So there's going to be different ways to do it. We're going to go through the eraser tool. I'm going to show you different tips and tricks and how to use shift, alt and control buttons. Also, we're going to go over the entity info and how to use it. And finally, and lastly, we're going to take a look at the specific window for soft and smooth edges. So I'm going to share with you a few tips and tricks and the best practices. How do you enjoy it? If you like the content, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let's jump into SketchUp. In today's episode learning SketchUp, we want to take a look at soften and smooth edges. So let's say if you have any geometry that you have has like a bunch of edges because you're using a line tool or a different type of tool to draw all of them. And when you see everything has some type of edge, so what is the best way to soften this edge and make them smoother, especially when you have, let's say, a shape like this, or you have a very complex one. So the first thing that people do is just gonna go to the eraser right here. So if you look at the eraser in the bottom, it has there's a few options, right? So one of them is control. When you hit control, I'm gonna hit control right now. You see how the icon change, and any edge that I clicked on, you see how it basically softened that edge and it's make it smooth and soft. So you can use this. Also, if you want to go back to unsmoothen that, you can right here, you can see it says hit alt. So I'm gonna hit alt. It basically shows me what are the actual lines that there were hidden or smoothen. I can click on them and basically bring those back. So it doesn't matter what type of items you work on, you can work with control and shift. And I can right now hit control, getting rid of this. I'm gonna do alt, basically shows the line, click back on, bring it on. I'm gonna hit control. You can see how the icon changes, remove it. Hitting back alt basically shows the line that was smoothened and basically bring it back. So this is a very quick tool right here if you want to do a few shapes here and there, adjust. And the other thing is basically if you hit shift, so I can hit shift, you can see another icon is going to show up, right? And that line is going to show up and just hide that items without smoothing it. So you have the three different items to work with. One of them is Control, Alt, and Shift. Shift basically toggle it between hide and unhide, and then bring the stuff back. If you want to do an Alt, you click on it, you bring the line back, and then if you want to smoothen, you hit Control. So this is a quick way to use it on the actual uh, like a small shape or geometry, but you have a very complex geometry. What's the best way to do it? So there is an actual uh, windows that we can adjust all of the geometry. So the first thing is if I click on a few geometry right here or click on a line, let me select that line. And the entity info is basically giving me the option that I can check with those boxes and basically it's going to take it away. You can see it's kind of smoothing the edges and it's kind of gone. And a little bit, you can basically just use that and bring the items back. So it doesn't matter what type of line you click on, you have that option to do it. And this is again same different way they can use the eraser and then soften edges in the entity info to adjust a few, like a geometry line that you have, but you have a complex and, let's say you want to do this whole thing. What do you want to do here, right? You cannot just click all of these line one by one and smooth, but if you want to do all of it, that's the reason that we go to the soften edges. If you don't have this window, you can basically right click on the default tray. You can go to manage trays, and then on the default, these are all the trays that are available. You can basically select the soften edges from the menu, and it's going to basically show up over here for you. And this one is grayed out until you select that line. So if I basically select the surface, you can see it's not showing because smooth and edge, it's basically coming with the name, right? So it's required an edge to be smoothed. So you need to select the line. So if I, as soon as I select this line, it's going to be turned on, and you'll be able to kind of do this. So let me just go and let's first select the whole thing. So if I select the whole thing, it's going to open up for me. I can hit soften and I can hit smooth. So you can see how basically adjust those. And then you have these bar on top that basically give you ability to move stuff. And then one thing that I want you to kind of pay attention here, let me turn this back on. So when I select these, everything's selected. And as soon as I move this bar, it basically deselects. And that's because they want to show you how it looks like, right? So just don't be afraid if it kind of go away. It's already selected. You don't need to click back in. And then there's going to be some numbers on top, some degrees, and then say angles between normals. So the normal, it's basically any line that is perpendicular to that surface or that line. That's called normal. So these dimensions or these degrees that you see, it's basically giving you an actual degree between those normals. So when it's gonna smooth these edges, let me just pass 60. So you can see if past 60, I'm at 59, nothing happens. Past 60, this age is gonna change. So let's just review this. Okay, see why it's like that, so you guys understand what you're actually clicking on. So if I go get the proctor from here, where's the proctor? There you go. So if I click on this and then do this, let me see. I only do it from the top. So if I want to do this and this, let's say, so that's 120 degrees. So we know this is not our normals that they're referring to here. So the normals, as I mentioned, it's basically any line that is perpendicular to the surface. So if I go here, let's just get it like a midpoint here somewhere. Oh, it doesn't matter. Just get a midpoint from this line. Let me delete this big line over there. That's gone. So if I basically just draw a line perpendicular here, okay, and then so this is a perpendicular to this. I'm gonna click done. And the reason that I do that, I just want to make sure this is not the same distance. I just wanted to grab a perpendicular line to this line, perpendicular to this line, and let's just go to the proctor that we have at this point and to see what is this angle. So I'm gonna get it from here all the way to here. So you guys notice that gives me 60, and that's why that when we pass the 60 degrees, it basically shows that change. So, and that's kind of happening everywhere. So if you basically go do the same thing over here, and then everything changes. So let me just get rid of this one, and then let's just select this. Okay, so let me select this only. So if I select this one, let's see what is the number that is going to change after. So is this one is basically more, is also under like 90. So it goes after 90. So it means if you draw a line over here, draw a line over here perpendicular to this surface, the distance or the angle or the degree between those two, it's going to be 90 degrees. So when past that, it's going to make them the actual um, smoother. So I just want you to guys to understand what is the difference between this and also the eraser tool. So you have a few options that you can deal with. If you only one or two line, you can use the eraser. You can also select some items. You can use the actual info entity. Make sure you're not selecting a surface. You need to select a line or an edge to basically get those one by one. And if you want to do a complex project like this, let's say if you have a big logistic, you basically select the whole thing, you check the smooth and soften, and you play with these bar, basically calculates what is that angle between normals, which we talked about is going to be a perpendicular line to that surface that you want to soften. and basically adjust it for you. And when you're happy with those, you'll be able to kind of see how those shape and everything is going to be smoothened and have a nicer edge for you to kind of use. Hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you like the content, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.